So essentially what we're doing is we have 4 countries that are part of the World Cup.
Yes.
Instead of giving our winners, we're going to give our winner picks for countries that we would live in.
Different split. Very
Qatar,
different.
Senegal,
Top and bottom.
Ecuador, Netherlands.
I like the fact that it's a 71% English proficiency.
Yeah, that's true.
Holland, man, you got windmills, you got tulips, you got bicycles,
You got cheese.
beautiful scenery.
Yeah.
From my experience in the Netherlands, it's a nice country to live in. I love the bikes.
Quality of life index off the charts,
Yep.
and that's no surprise.
Yeah.
I see that Qatar has really good ratings, but I thought that there were some other kinds of problems there.
Well, for starters, I am interested in Qatar and the Netherlands, mostly because the safety index is so high on both of those countries.
I'm from New Mexico, and there's a lot of heat there, and so I don't think I'd want to go back to that.
Just looking at Qatar, the official language is Arabic, and I feel like I struggle right now with learning my Portuguese.
Languages.
That's very intimidating to me.
Desert with similar topography all across doesn't really hold anything for me.
It also does say that Qatar English is the preferred language for business.
True.
Although I'm not working.
I'm not working either.
So we would still be in trouble.
Still be in trouble. I'd be way better off in the Netherlands and Ecuador, I think.
Yeah, I've looked at the financial threshold for Ecuador, and it's very low to move there.
And cost of living is very low
Very
in Ecuador.
low in Ecuador.
I like the sounds of that.
I do too.
It's great for pensioners. It's great for expats to live. Have to be wary of the blue eye tax. You know, they know the people
for
that
sure.
come in and will charge you more, which is still nothing comparatively. Pretty high on the list, with Ecuador at number 2 because of the mountains, the outdoors. I've traveled there. I know it. I feel good with the people.
I would prefer to go to Ecuador over Qatar and Senegal, primarily just because I've lived in the Middle East before. And then Senegal I would also live in, but the Netherlands and Ecuador would be above that.
Not going to belabor anything. I am going to rule out a place that doesn't have a quality of life index even number. If it's a red flag and says very low, that's good enough for me.
Senegal?
I'll try again.
Yep, me too.
I would be more concerned at my age as a single woman moving to a place like Senegal or Ecuador. So.
Netherlands, of course, for me, I love Europe.
Yep.
So I have an EU little
Biased.
Little bias.
Yeah, me
a
too.
little baby bias.
I would go with you on the Netherlands.
Okay.
That's where we would start. What would be your second choice?
Ecuador.
I think I'm with you on that.
I've spent a little bit of time in Amsterdam and just absolutely love it and would love to go back. So that would be my top place to move to.
I would think it'd be the Netherlands and then probably Ecuador.
Of the other 3, I would choose Qatar because, again, the safety index is really high and the overall quality of living is really high.
Netherlands, I would say Ecuador. I would like it.
Yeah.
I would like to. I like warm weather.
For me, it's a no-brainer. Netherlands is number 1, followed by Ecuador.
Agreed. I would go live in the Netherlands and then also Ecuador.
How about this group? The US, England, Wales, Iran. England, how many countries are in that country?
The lowest on the list for me would be Iran.
Okay. Why? Like,
The political system and the belief structure and the religious zealotry.
Honestly, Iran is out for me.
Iran is out for me as well.
I have to say I have some friends from Iran and they
Yeah.
are very nice people.
Oh, absolutely.
And the food is also really nice.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
So 3 very high overall quality of life indices.
Absolutely.
Opposed to 1 very low, Iran.
Iran.
So Iran, just because I would love to be able to go there and live there.
I would love to see it. There are amazing people everywhere on the planet, and I would love to meet some of the amazing people in Iran, but don't want to live there.
Farsi is a beautiful, beautiful language. I have a fascination with Persian history and culture, and like Iran is gorgeous if you've ever looked at like the pictures of the topography.
There's a lot of
So
pluses.
you can say a lot about
I could say a lot
it.
about that, yeah. But there's also a reason I moved away.
Safety, I think, is lower. I know this is probably your average numbers. Healthcare, not happening very well.
I have no intention of going back.
The US would not be my first choice.
No, not at all.
I guess they are kind of the same.
Similar, yeah.
I've been to England, not to Wales. Have you been to Wales?
I haven't been to either, no.
Okay.
Climate can get a little bit cold and gray.
English obviously is a draw, although I do like learning languages.
The percentages are the number of people that actually speak Welsh, but it's actually pretty high within Wales.
I've never been to England, never been to Wales.
They have like their own culture within the British Isles, and the fact that they've been able to keep and restore their language.
How fun would it be though to sit in a little pub in Wales and watch a World Cup game?
You could do that in England.
There you could. Either one of those, that'd be fantastic. Drinking beer.
Both for ancestry and just the gorgeous countryside and scenery.
If I had to pick one of these 4 countries, the US, Wales, England, or Iran, probably I would be looking at Wales.
Interesting.
Wales would be my first choice, and England would be my second choice.
I think Wales is extremely attractive.
So second would be England for you.
England, number 2.
I think it would be for me as well.
I would choose Wales because it would be new and different.
USA is my home. That's where my family is. US is number 1, and Wales would be number 2.
Iran and Wales.
I think it's kind of a tie between England and Wales, because I don't think I'd want to move back to the United States.
Yeah, the same actually, England and Wales.
We've got Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Poland. I've only been to Mexico.
Okay, I haven't been to any. That's not cool. I haven't been to any. Seems like Saudi Arabia is surprisingly good in all of this.
True. Yeah, again, for me, the heat, Saudi Arabia, I don't think that would be, although a lot of the indexes here are really good, I don't think that'd be the country for me.
Saudi Arabia, for me, is totally out.
I didn't or don't and would not prefer to live in a place where religious differences had such a prominent role in day-to-day society and mattered that much in your day-to-day.
Yep.
That would make me uncomfortable.
I think for me, Saudi, the heat would be enough to
Kill me off.
make me not interested in Saudi, for sure.
Exactly.
Saudi Arabia, I've been there, done that. Would go back for tourism, but live there, not at this point in my life.
One of the things I find interesting is that Saudi Arabia has the highest quality of life index on this whole list, which really surprised me. I hear great things about Saudi Arabia from people that have lived there and have visited there, but for me, that part of the world doesn't draw me in.
Yeah.
Mexico gets kind of a bad rap in some ways, but there's some extremely beautiful parts of Mexico.
I get that.
Mexico. I've been to Mexico. I loved Mexico. I'm not 100% sure I want to live there. It says the safety index is moderate.
Yeah, where?
My experiences
Mexico
there,
City,
I did
Acapulco.
Right. It depends on, yes, if you're staying in an all-inclusive resort, which you wouldn't be if you were living there.
Mexico kind of, it would be a safe fallback, but more known.
Cost of living is very low, and that's always appealing. But you have to weigh that out with safety, and so that has some interest.
Mexico, same thing, moderate quality of living. The safety index is not high, but it's moderate, at least it's not low.
Just culturally very, very diverse across Mexico.
It's a fairly diverse country. I like the Mexican culture. I love Mexican food.
I agree.
Come on, tacos?
Yeah, I agree.
Doesn't get any better than that.
Margarita is a food group.
Margaritas.
So let's start there,
Margaritas and
then we have
tacos.
tacos.
That's a winner.
Yeah.
I think there's, even though they seem to have lots of issues politically still, I think it would be definitely worth an explore. Safety index, low, but
Worth checking out.
worth checking out. Still climate, look there,
Quality of life is index reports low
low.
in Argentina, but it is someplace that I would be interested in.
Just exploration, I guess.
Absolutely.
In Argentina, I would love to go to Argentina. So Patagonia, you know.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I would love that. And Buenos Aires.
Argentina's beautiful, gorgeous, outdoors, natural beauty,
A lot
all
of variety.
I think it's a huge country. I think there'd be definitely some places that I could find that I would really enjoy.
Economic issues and political issues can diminish one's quality of life, but if you're showing up with American dollars, quality of life down there can be very good.
Poland, I think, would be a little a little hard for me for a number of reasons.
It
It's
looks
cold
good.
in winter.
That's something
That's
to
a
consider.
thing you said. Do
Yeah.
you like very cold weather?
No.
I would actually be interested in living in Poland, partially because of the culture. Also, a bit of an astro geek, and I have some like astrology lines that run through some cool places in Poland. So, want to go check those out.
Well, the safety index is high. The overall quality of life is medium, and that's other than Saudi Arabia, that's the highest in the list.
How about Poland?
Poland has interest for me.
Why no Saudi Arabia?
I'm a woman.
Argentina 1, Poland 2.
For me, it would be Argentina, just because I love tango and everything, the
Excellent.
culture.
And second place?
Second place, it's a tie. I guess Poland.
My number 1 is going to be Argentina, followed by Mexico.
For me, it'd be Mexico and then Argentina.
I would pick Poland as my number 1, and then Mexico as my number 2.
I would concur with that.
Out of all of this, I would say Poland is number 1 for me.
Oh, okay, interesting. I think number 1 for me might be Argentina.
2 for me is Argentina.
Yeah, and then Poland probably second.
So we have Group D, which is France, Australia, Denmark, and Tunisia.
Quite honestly, I don't know a ton about Tunisia other than what's on this piece of paper.
I don't either, and I'm going to say it sounds like it's in the desert, but I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, it's got some positives. I mean, the climate's nice. Cost of living is very low. That's good.
Northern Africa, which if you're looking for a cheap vacation on the Med, Tunisia would be your place, right?
Okay,
But I don't want to live there.
not vacation. Right.
Not vacation.
I would pick Tunisia. I seem to be going with a North African theme. They just is very intriguing to me.
Tunisia, I mean, I've moved here from Arizona, and I don't want to live anywhere really hot ever again.
Tempting because of the challenge and the exoticness of it. Tempting. But I think overall, yeah, hot but a different hot. It's not a humid hot, right?
Good point. It's a dry heat.
It's a dry heat.
What about Australia?
Australia. See, I've been to New Zealand.
I would love to live there. I think it would be amazing.
I really would like to live in Australia, yeah. Oh, even though all the world's deadliest snakes
Yes, I
and
know.
spiders
I
and
know.
everything is from there, so you'd have to deal with that.
I wouldn't deal with that. I mean, I would love to visit, but I don't know.
But everything there will try to kill you.
It will, absolutely.
Australia would be great. It's a little far from the rest of where my life is these days in the world, so I'd pass on Australia.
Appears too far, too remote, cost of living crazy high. In general, everything will hurt you.
So,
Although quality of life in Australia, I think would be amazing.
Australia, love the Australians. I speak their language, kind of.
And Australia, I'm intrigued by Australia. I'd love to visit someday, but it's too far away from the rest of the world. It's too hard to get anywhere.
And then France.
Vive la France.
France is clearly would be my first choice.
France is absolutely my number 1.
Yes.
I would be there probably now.
I would
if
as
it would have
well.
been easier on the visa.
I would as well.
How do you like that?
Yeah.
It is a little pricey though in France.
Yeah, I've been also to some places around France. Paris is, I love Paris, absolutely.
So do I. Yeah.
It's amazing.
I've been a number of places in France,
Yes.
and I didn't end up anywhere that I didn't think was amazing.
Us too.
So beautiful. So I like it, but again, very high prices, especially in Paris.
It's interesting to me, though, when I look at the safety index on France, it says moderate, which in some other countries that we looked at kind of made me a little apprehensive, oddly with France. The moderate doesn't. So there are other factors that weigh higher for me, clearly, with France.
Obviously, good way to be honest.
To be honest, it would be intimidating for me to live there.
France, if I'm in Denmark or Tunisia, I can always go to France.
Ooh, Denmark. Been there 4 times. I love Denmark. It's a very developed country, nice people, in my opinion, but very cold in winter.
Okay.
And have you been to Denmark?
Yep.
Okay.
Love it.
Love it.
I don't know that you could ask for much more
No,
in terms of healthcare. Cost of living is high.
Expensive place to live. Pretty cool.
Copenhagen, supposed to be an amazing, beautiful city. Quality of life index is off the chart.
Love what they represent. Love the social inclusiveness and everybody gets behind that. We're all in it together. And it's gorgeous.
Well, Denmark would be my first pick, even though I'm not such a cold person.
I guess I would say Denmark and then France.
I think I'd go with Denmark and Australia.
France number 1, Australia number 2.
France number 1, Denmark number 2.
So Denmark, France.
But yeah, Tunisia would be my number 1, and then after that, I'll go with Denmark.
My 2, Denmark and Australia.
Probably my second choice would be France.
Okay, so we're looking at Spain, Costa Rica, Germany,
I'm just
and
going to take
Japan.
Costa Rica out of my mix.
And how come?
Well, because my son-in-law is from Central America, and I have heard about so many of the issues in Central America. He's from Nicaragua. It's just there's so much political strife and stuff like this, and I'm not sure that the safety index is even moderate.
Too hot.
Costa Rica, I don't really know a lot about it, but you know more.
Yeah, Costa Rica is great weather, lovely people. There's a low threshold for setting up residency.
I think Costa Rica would be fascinating. Cost of living really is low, and that has draw for me. Proximity to the United States.
And Costa Rica is beautiful, but that's a safety issue.
Well, I would love to visit Japan, but just to visit, I don't think I could live there. Population density is too high.
Like, maybe in the main cities, but I guess we don't know the little places. Maybe they will be lovely, actually.
That's true.
Japan, I have no interest.
Japan, never been, want to go. Like most of the things that I think about it, chaotic overall, I think. It would be too chaotic and constrained.
I think the cost of living, it says is low depending on where you are.
That's
so
right.
again, it's an average.
While I'm really intrigued by Japan, it's a very homogenous culture and doesn't seem like fitting into that would be easy. Plus, I'm so bad at Portuguese that I can't imagine learning Japanese.
I have heard so many people say it's probably one of the safest places you could live in the world. And it's like, okay, well, it says it's high.
Language and chaos.
And
That's
language,
when I
yeah.
think
Rule me
Japan, I think language, chaos, expensive. They'll hear great things about Japan, but not for me.
It can be a little bit difficult to integrate, not completely. If I did do Japan, I would definitely want to live in the countryside, more space. Basically, I'm going for more space.
My boyfriend is from Germany. I've been to Germany several times.
I think Germany, it depends on where you are.
Of course, which is true for all of these. Sure.
Right, exactly.
Every place I've ever traveled in the world, no matter how remote you are, you run into some Germans that are out doing some crazy stuff.
It's a very developed country, but it has its cons, obviously, as every country.
Also, the safety index is good. Cost of living's a plus.
I think that there would be some smaller places, smaller cities that I think I would really enjoy.
Okay, what about Spain?
Spain.
Ooh.
Love Spain.
Yeah, me too.
Love Spain a lot, actually.
Spain,
Spain.
España.
Been to Spain, love the people there, love the culture.
The different autonomous governments, and then the main central government, it seems like there's a ton of infighting all the time.
It's been like that for years in Spain.
I don't see that stopping anytime soon.
Yeah.
So,
Having been in Spain, love Spain.
Yeah.
Love Spain. Fantastic place to visit, food, people, culture.
I've been to Spain. I've been everywhere. My parents and I, we always travel to Spain.
I think the cost of living, depending on where you are, is a draw. Healthcare is very good in
Yes, it
Spain
is.
as well.
Nothing at all that would preclude me from Spain. Everything great. Love it, love it. All those things you said, I think would be amazing.
Quality of life, just overall.
Quality
I
of
think
life is good.
Very good. So Spain
Very
is
good.
a contender for sure.
For sure.
for me, I think my 1-2 would be Spain and Germany.
Yeah, me too.
My first choice would be Spain.
Mine too.
And my second would probably be Costa Rica.
Awesome. Germany, number 2 for me.
I would say I would live in Spain, would be my number 1, Costa Rica, actually.
I'm going with Germany and then Spain.
Darn, I didn't see this coming, but I think I agree with you on Germany being my number 1 in this group.
And you like beer.
I do like beer.
Germany would be my first pick.
Germany followed by Spain. That's my number 1 and my number 2.
Spain would probably be my second choice.
Okay, so the next 4 that we have are Morocco, Croatia, Belgium, and Canada.
Canada.
Well, of the 4, I've only been to Canada, but I've been many, 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 many times.
So I've done a lot of already checking out of Quebec City and Montreal. Very appealing, especially for me, Quebec City, because it's very French.
A lot of their ideals and infrastructure and government setup kind of mirrors the United States.
I've met a lot of Canadians, and
Yeah.
I think they're very similar in a way to the Portuguese. I think that they are nice.
Love Canada, love Canadians. You know, the Yukon and BC, stunningly beautiful as someone who loves the outdoors and the mountains.
The healthcare system there is really, really good.
I think primarily because I have relatives and history there. Ancestors settled there after they left Ireland, so I would like to. You too? So I would like to experience more of that.
But it's cold. I don't think I'd want to live there.
Cost of living looks good. Proximity to the United States feels good for me as well.
It just seems too easy and too same. Don't know that I would want to do that.
How about Belgium?
Okay, here we go.
I love Antwerp.
It feels
Safe.
very
doable.
safe.
It's very nice. The capital, Brussels, is also very nice, but a bit, I don't know, more messier.
They have official other languages, but they have English, a lot of English, which is good.
Would like to go. I think it would be a relatively easy place to live once you're there.
You like waffles?
Well, who doesn't like waffles? Belgian waffles? Come on, there you go.
Morocco, love to visit.
Me
Would love
too.
to visit Morocco, but I don't think I'd want to live there.
Morocco would be fascinating. I think that would be something I would absolutely explore. Quality of life index is low. I just think it would be amazing to live there and explore the culture and the people there.
We're close.
Morocco, high on the list, super exotic. A day-to-day I think would be different than visiting again, so that's a big question if you could do a day-to-day.
I've always had a love of Morocco, so I would definitely live there. That would be number 1. It's got the ocean, it's got the mountains. Linguistically, it's very diverse, which I find interesting. Great history of blending of European culture, African culture, as well as Islamic culture across the board.
Croatia,
Nice beaches.
yeah.
Croatia for me is really high.
Beautiful.
Very high on the list. I have not been. I want to go.
It's supposed to be the greenest country in the world. They have really good recycling programs. It's high safety.
Croatia, surging in the world as far as freedoms and economy. A lot of expats go in that direction.
Here it is pretty gorgeous and very green.
Most forest.
So 1, 2.
Belgium and Croatia.
All right.
My second would be Croatia.
I think my 1, 2 would be Croatia and then Belgium.
Canada and Morocco.
My second choice would be Canada.
I'm going to vote Belgium 1.
Croatia and Canada.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Morocco 2.
No kidding. Outstanding. Interesting.
Yeah.
My first pick would be Croatia.
Canada would be my number 1 of these 4. Croatia is my number 2.
Okay, so we have here another group with Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon.
Brazil, when I think of Brazil, I think of the passion of the people, their passion for carnival, the football, the beach culture.
Brazil speaks a nice language.
Well, they do, yeah. They got it from a good country.
Yeah,
So,
don't say that. They don't like that.
okay.
I'm not sure I want to live there.
We grew up here with all the Brazilian soap operas, so we kind of got to know a little bit of the Brazilian culture.
I have Brazilian friends who would no way, Jose, go back.
I would pass on living in Brazil. The political climate right now is a little tedious.
Safety index, I'm not sure. It says low. I think it might even be lower than that, just depending on where.
The safety index is not that high.
Brazil, yeah, all sounds good. I like it. I think overall year-round it would be muggy and a little uncomfortable. So that's off the table.
I don't think you're wrong.
Switzerland I've been to.
Ooh, great.
It's amazingly beautiful. It's like a postcard.
Switzerland has a draw, super safe, super expensive, which is of concern on a retirement income.
And of course they have a very high standard of life.
The only thing that's a negative on this list is the cost of living index.
Yep, very expensive.
I'm going to save Switzerland for visiting. I won't even think about it.
Okay,
It's like,
because
no.
of the cost of living.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It feels like Disneyland is so clean. The scenery is so stunning.
I never hear anything about, well,
How
Switzerland.
terrible it was.
No, it's always like the best, the best, the best, the best.
Yes.
And the most expensive, and the most expensive, the most expensive.
I know it's just absolutely beautiful. I've seen gorgeous, gorgeous pictures of it. I'd love to go there and travel through there and see all of it. I know their safety is very high, so you'd think that would make it a plus, but it's probably too cold for me. And I think also that I think it's a harder place to integrate into as an expat. It wouldn't seem like it should be, but I think that it is.
Switzerland, for me, is an absolute winner.
Across the board, it has everything. It works, it's efficient, it's tight, it's friendly, it's safe, it's beautiful, and being outdoors and being able to get out and see things all year round is super, super important.
I've been to Switzerland and I like Switzerland and would also live there.
I had a friend from Cameroon. He was very nice. So if he's representative of his people, then Cameroon people are nice.
Excellent.
Quality of life, when you look at the quality of life index and it's very low right off the bat, it does make you wonder.
It does.
Certainly makes me question whether that's a situation I want to put myself in willingly.
Again, for me, the first consideration is to look at, as I look at this list, is always the safety index, and it's low. So that's a no-starter.
I see stats that really wouldn't jive with what I like and feel good with.
Central Africa. It would be really fun to visit and watch on TV a football match during the World Cup with Cameroon locals. That would be a blast. But to live, nope, that's not a good fit.
And the pollution index is very high.
Don't know anything about Serbia, really.
Well, they had a kind of convoluted political situation there, I think, back in the days. Now I think
That's really a respectful way to put that.
I'm intrigued with Serbia. I have intrigue. I don't know anything about it. It's in that area where it's like I'd love to explore. Quality of life is like, I think it would be interesting to check out.
Well, cost of living is low, it looks like. Climate's pretty decent.
Property price to income ratio is high.
They are surging in the world as far as what I understand is developing economy, personal freedoms. There are people going there for those things. As you can see on the quality of life index, it's rating above Brazil.
I would live in Serbia or at least try it out for a bit. I don't know too much about it.
Brazil and then Switzerland.
I would say the opposite. Switzerland first and then Brazil.
Serbia, and I'm going to go for Switzerland, even though it's just totally
We're priced out of it. I feel priced out of Switzerland,
Totally priced out, but-
I think Switzerland would be my first choice and Serbia would be my second.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Switzerland's the winner, followed by Brazil.
I would say Switzerland, then Serbia.
If I could afford to eat breakfast there every day, Switzerland. Serbia too.
Switzerland followed by Serbia.
Well, isn't that the best? Yeah, where'd you get your stats?
Numbio.
Oh, of course. I use Numbio all the time. I trust him.
All right, Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, and South Korea.
Uruguay or Uruguay.
Uruguay. Who doesn't love South America?
Purchasing power very low.
Definitely some place to check out. Look at the climate. Look at the property price to income ratio.
Very high.
Yes.
Something to consider.
Absolutely.
South American, Spanish speaking, so I'm not bright enough to learn Portuguese yet, so it would be easier, I think, to assimilate overall learning Spanish with the little base that I already have. Great climate, in the mountains, good food, safe, gorgeous topography, scenery,
Coastal.
Coastal.
I've read about Montevideo, and that seems like it would be a really cool place to visit.
Quality of life is a good metrics, quality of life indicator that obviously people research and compile a lot of information about to come up with that. I think they exist for a reason, and it seems to be probably pretty accurate. I would guess, not having been there, that maybe Ghana would represent a little more difficult day-to-day life and just getting your basics done.
It would not be one of my top picks because as an elderly single woman, the safety index is not where I would want it to be.
I see that the quality of life index here is very low,
It is very low.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
And we're talking about places to live as opposed to visit. I would love to visit Ghana.
English is one of the many official languages, so that's a plus.
That's a plus.
It's a new place. I actually hear very little about it, but what I've heard about Ghana has been great. Technological advances. I would definitely live in Ghana, at least check it out for a few months.
I mean, the fact that the climate is good, that's a plus for sure.
Ghana's like, doesn't even come up on my radar.
The quality of life in Ghana, I'm not sure is conducive to being a place I want to live. However, that said, what an incredible part of the world.
South Korea, I think, is a nice country in general. But I see, for example, the property price to income ratio is also very high, very high.
Yes.
South Korea, I don't know. Korea, too close to North Korea for me.
I can't stand a lot of pollution, so
I can't either.
I know it says safety is up there, but I don't know.
Not a place I'm drawn to at all. Don't know much about South Korea, to be honest.
South of North Korea.
It,
little safer.
That would make sense. There you go. A little bit safer.
All over differentness of it.
For sure.
Everything would be different and new and challenging.
And Portugal.
Yay, Portugal! So, what do you say about Portugal?
Love Portugal.
You do?
Absolutely.
I'm so grateful that we have chosen Portugal.
Absolutely.
It isn't perfect, but boy, oh boy, it's fitting for us really, really well.
Yes.
And all these things, quality of life,
Ring
yeah,
true.
rock and roll,
Yes.
very true.
The quality of life, the fact that the Portuguese people take care of people.
Portugal, been there, lived there,
Yeah.
love it. It's a beautiful place.
I can't lie. I mean, Portugal would be my first choice always.
I mean,
and
we're
that's why
already
I'm here, right? And because it ticks all the boxes, you know, in all of the indices that we're looking at for our decision making.
For me, I have to say Portugal is the first. I love living here.
Okay.
And for all that you said and some other things,
All right.
it has cons as well, I have to say, but mostly pros.
I will say Portugal's number one, Uruguay is number two, and there we are.
Agreed. Agreed. Absolutely. Same for me.
Uruguay.
I would say Portugal and then South Korea.
Portugal, for me, winners, Portugal, followed by Uruguay. I love Portugal. That's why we're here.
So Portugal is a given. So that's already a safety one. So I would do actually Ghana.
Winner for me, all things considered now, is Uruguay, followed by Portugal.
Okay, yeah, Portugal is it for sure. And probably Ghana would be my second choice.
You can't stop now. On to the round of 16 to find out the best country in the world to live in. Click this video here so you know who makes the cut. Hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss the next video. Now let's get moving.